Parents, when did you realize that you raised your child right? My 8-year-old son has always had one dream. He wanted to adopt a puppy. Not just any puppy, but one that needed love the most. So for his birthday this year, my husband and I surprised him with a visit to the local animal shelter. The second we stepped inside, he was scanning every kennel like it was the most important decision of his life. Then he stopped in front of one. In the far back of the room, lying completely still, was a pit bull named Frank. Frank didn't even lift his head when we approached. He had this deep, almost defeated frown on his face that made you feel it in your chest. His eyes didn't sparkle like the other dogs. He just stared at the floor like he was waiting for nothing. My son looked up at us and said quietly, "He's the one." We asked the shelter staff about Frank, and they warned us immediately. He had been rescued from a home where he was beaten and neglected. He didn't trust people. He rarely ate. He hadn't wagged his tail since the day they brought him in. He was afraid of men, loud noises, sudden movements, pretty much everything. They told us it might take months before he showed any sign of progress. They didn't recommend him for families with children, but our son didn't care. He stood there with his arms crossed and said, "He needs someone. I don't care how long it takes. I want him." So we brought Frank home that afternoon. At first, he refused to leave the corner of the living room. He growled at my husband just for walking by. He wouldn't touch his food unless no one was in the room. We laid blankets down, brought him toys, sat near him, tried everything we could, but it was our son who finally broke through. Every night, he sat a few feet away from Frank and read to him. Sometimes it was comic books, sometimes it was school assignments, sometimes it was just him talking about his day. Every morning before school, he'd clip the leash on and take Frank for a walk, even if Frank just sat there for 20 minutes refusing